Mom and Dad, I'm doing fine. You guys are on my mind. You asked me what I wanted to be, and now I think the answer is plain to see. I wanna be famous. I wanna live close to the sun. Oh, pack your bags, cause I've already won. Everything to prove, nothing in my way. I'll get there one day. Cause I wanna be famous. Na 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 na
Welcome to the Animation Block. I'm your host, Knox, and yes, we finally got our first official look at Total Drama, the Ridonculous race, and it is just beautiful. I've been waiting for this for a while, and so is Ridon. We got to see a lot in the short trailer. There were the new and old cast members. You might recognize Owen. He's a baller. And we get to see Don, our new host, for the first time. We will have to see how he compares to Chris, but as of right now, I like him. He seems cool, and I absolutely cannot wait until September 7th.
So for me, this trailer was just amazing. Now, it wasn't much, but the whole fact that they actually just go ahead, they went ahead and they just completely premiered it, in such an unexpected way. Really, I just found out about the show probably 3 weeks ago. And I know that's crazy because, I was telling you guys, I'm such a big Total Drama fan. Like, you don't even know. But it's just very interesting that I find out about it, then I'm like, wait, is this happening? Is it not happening? And then my expectations they dropped a lot. They, really, it was just this whole thing where it's like nobody was sure. I wasn't really sure when this would premiere, the Ridonculous race on Cartoon Network, or if it wasn't going to even be on Cartoon Network, if it was going to be on Boomerang or online or something like that, my expectations were very much lowered. So, I'm watching, Teen Titans Go the other day, like one of the new episodes, and boom, a trailer. We see Owen, we see Don. I mean, really, if you wanted to see the first episode, you basically just search Total Drama, the Ridonculous race, episode 1 on YouTube, and some guy or some person with the channel, it's called like Fan or something like that. I mean, the whole first episode's on YouTube, and you can find it on like Kiss Cartoon and some of these other websites and stuff. But I actually haven't seen it because I want to be surprised with it. So, if you've seen the episode, no spoilers in the comments. But I got really excited, And Knox was actually the one who discovered, the whole thing where it's like, he found, he was actually watching. He's like, hey, come down here, come down, look, it's down. And I just, freaked out. And I know Chris isn't coming back, and that's rough. And it doesn't seem like Chef will be back either. But for the most part, I'm pleased with this Don guy. He's not going to be as crazy and twisted as Chris, at least not yet. I really would like to see the two of them meet. I feel like if the two of them were co-hosts in like a season 2, it could just be the greatest thing ever. And, Owen's back, Noah's back. There's a lot of returning characters, and some of these new people, they look like they're pretty, look like it's going to be fun. The whole Don box thing, it's like a checkpoint. The intro's pretty good. He's like, I'm Don, and this is the Ridonculous race. And then his teeth flash, and then it goes right into the theme song. And, the theme song is short but sweet. It's not how the original one is. The original one had words, number one. Number two, the original one was like a minute-long theme. It was a 50-second theme. Now, this one is like 15, 20 seconds, and it's just no words, instrumental, but it's good, So, honestly, for me, this was just great. It says it's coming in September. we know that it's supposedly going to premiere on September 7th, unless that does end up getting delayed. That is actually a week from Monday. So this is coming very, very soon, and let's say that, something happens where it's like, they end up delaying it a week, so it ends up coming out September 14th. That's not a big deal. So, it could end up getting delayed, but for the most part, it is going to be premiering September 7th. Like I said, like Knox said, and it's just really exciting overall. I absolutely can't wait for this. Total Drama is a great show. Also, something to point out, although it is somewhat called the Ridonculous race, they really emphasize in the title of it, when it showed the logo for it, the logo, it said, it had Total Drama. It said Total Drama in big letters. It just said Total Drama, and in smaller letters underneath it said the Ridonculous race. So it's not like they're calling it, Total Drama in small letters presents the Ridonculous race. It is Total Drama, and it might be presents the Ridonculous race, but I think it is Total Drama, and then boom, the Ridonculous race. And let's hope this race is pretty ridonculous. I want to see a lot of elements of the original show. I'm hoping that once it gets down to, final people, when there's only, 5 people left in the whole show, or the final 4 or whatever, so that's, the final 2 teams, I hope they split up, into singles. The animation looks a lot newer. Not that the other animation's old, because the last Total Drama show it was 2014, and that was Pakatu Island and whatever, but, in the animation, it looks slightly different. And I'm not talking about the characters, because the characters themselves look the same, and the backgrounds all look pretty much the same. I mean, it's basically all the same animation, but the sharks, when they showed the sharks, it looked newer, and it looked a little different. It was a different drawing draft of the shark, and the water, it looked a little bit, more realistic, you guys kind of get what I'm saying. So it's basically the animation is the exact same thing. It just has a bit more of a polished look to it, which is always good to renovate new things. They want to try to start a new franchise. That is why, not a franchise, but a new series that can go for 6 seasons. Now, do I know if that's going to happen? Probably, I don't know. The fact that they are giving it basically a new name, calling it the Ridonculous race, getting a new host and everything, they're trying to keep the whole thing by referring to it as Total Drama and bringing back characters like Owen and Noah. It's right there they're saying, this is a Total Drama show, but it is new. It's from the creators of Total Drama. It's not exactly Total Drama, but at the same time it kind of is. So it's interesting. Cartoon Network does not have a show like that on right now. Cartoon Network needs a show like that on now. It needs less Clarence and Uncle Grandpa. Not that those are bad shows. I never said they were bad shows, but it needs to become what it used to be, which is always great. I need to see, because I don't know. I said this last week. I said the week before. I'm into Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network has hooked me again, which is always a good thing. They've hooked me. Here's the thing though. They hooked me, but it's not the same as it used to be. So by bringing back a show like Total Drama in a new sense, they're saying, here it is. Here's what you all loved with a twist, and I love that. So that's great. I'm very excited for that. And, Knox, why don't we go ahead and move on to the next topic?
Next, we have the possible revival of Young Justice Season 3. I love the show, and I remember watching the first episode with Ryder, and it was just so damn great. The fact that they canceled the show was just flat out depressing, and there was so much more room for Season 3. There were so many more amazing stories they could have told, and it was a shame that they had canceled it. Now it is circling around Twitter that Cartoon Network and Warner Bros. Could possibly renew it 2 years later for a Season 3. I think this is a great idea, and if the fans are there at the right moment and there at the right time, Cartoon Network will end up renewing it. I'm interested to see where the story goes and how long this fan war will go on for. Hashtag Renew Young Justice.
So here it is, Young Justice Season 3. Knox gave his spiel here, and now it's my turn. Young Justice was probably one of the greatest DC Comics animated TV shows that they've done. Now, granted, they have not done too many. You've got the Batman the Animated Series, which is, most people think it was the greatest Batman show ever, or animated show ever. I agree with that. I think it really was the greatest Batman one. Then you've got Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, which was probably that's probably tied with Young Justice for me for #1 team show. You've got other ones like the Legion of Superheroes, which I did not like very much. There's other ones, then you've got the animated movies, but Young Justice was revolutionary. They also had Teen Titans. I forgot about that. The original Teen Titans show. But basically, it combined what, people loved about the Teen Titans show, the original one, and mixed it with Justice League, right? And then it brought on the newer animation and a great story. And they called it Young Justice, and it was perfect because, remember, they used the word justice in there. Now, it was basically, if you translate what Young Justice means, and like if you put Young Justice, then an equal sign, it basically means Justice League with Teen Titans. That's what it means. So it's combining all superheroes from DC together in an amazing story. Both seasons I felt were great. I loved Season 1, loved it. Season 2 was pretty amazing also. I know some people didn't love it as much as Season 1, and I see how some episodes could have been a little better, but honestly, great story overall. I loved how they really tried to utilize almost as many characters as they possibly could from DC, which that's basically what Marvel's doing right now with Avengers Assemble and Guardians of the Galaxy and Ultimate Spider-Man. Most people don't know who Kazar is. I call him Kazar, but a lot of people they're calling him Kazar. Most people don't know who that is from Marvel, unless you're a Marvel Comics super fan like me. Or even some children probably don't even know Ghost Rider. Most people know Ghost Rider, but some people don't. And it's like, who's this Ghost Rider dude? Some people don't know Dormammu. Some people don't even know White Tiger. Now that Ultimate Spider-Man's going into its 4th season, most people know White Tiger. My point is, Marvel is really trying to utilize as many unknown characters as they possibly could, and that's something Young Justice did. Then it got canceled. In 2013, it got canceled. Why did it get canceled? It wasn't because of Warner Brothers. It wasn't because of DC. They could have, thrown out another 3-4 seasons, and given it a good, 5 to 6 season run. That's what it should have had. But what do we get instead? A cancellation from Cartoon Network. Now this goes back to basically everything we were talking about with Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network has tried to get rid of the original. They really have. They had a really amazing, strong start with the Dexter Lab one, Dexter's Lab, something like that. I remember that show. The Grim Adventures of Mandy and Billy. They had that show. They had the original. You got Johnny Test, and you had Total Drama, like I was saying. You had the Powerpuff Girls, which that's another big topic we're talking about today. But it's like, whoa! That you have all of these amazing properties, Teen Titans, Scooby-Doo, you had everything, and then they basically took a big giant eraser and erased it all, and replaced it with Amazing World of Gumball, and Clarence, and Uncle Grandpa, and Regular Show, and I'm just going to be honest, Regular Show is actually really good. Some of those other ones aren't, but Regular Show is pretty good. We Bare Bears. Now, I love We Bare Bears, but at the same time, it isn't the original. Of course, you have to renovate. You have to make it newer. That was what I was saying with Total Drama. But at the same time, stay true to your fan base. Stay true to what built this channel. And that was the original great shows. Now, the creator of Johnny Test and Big Time Rush and Ned's Declassified, Scott Fellows, he's doing a new show for Cartoon Network called Super Noobs. But, you know, we don't know if that's going to be good either. So it's like it seems like they're trying to bring back the old and new. Like, they're bringing back Powerpuff Girls. They're bringing back Total Drama. And now they're bringing back, like, the Johnny Test kind of animation overall, you know. And it's like, okay, you got rid of Young Justice before, and then you replaced it with Beware the Batman, which that didn't do very well. That was a, you know, one season run. That was done, and then Teen Titans Go. People want a season 3. They left a cliffhanger for Young Justice season 2 at the end, and they need a season 3. So basically, it's a hashtag Renew Young Justice. You know, I posting something on Twitter on my account for you know, with Toys with Attitude. If you follow me on there, make sure you just, you know, retweet that and like it and just, you know, share it so people know, because that's something that really could happen. Look at Deadpool. Look at the Deadpool movie, okay? No, they weren't going to make that movie unless that test footage wasn't leaked. If that test footage wasn't leaked, a Deadpool movie might be in development for like 2026. And that, you know, that's a 10-year delay. 10-year delay. But that test footage got leaked. People went crazy. Fox is like, all right, we got something here. And then they get a director like Tim Miller, and then they go, boom, Ryan Reynolds. And then you're going to have a beautiful movie that comes out next year. And it's like, whoa, a fan base can do that. So, basically, a fan base can do that for Young Justice Season 3. If you're a fan of the show, then just have it happen. If you haven't seen the show, watch the show. And if you didn't like the show, leave this video because you obviously don't appreciate it enough. So, you know, it's basically the whole thing where DC needs to come and pull through with some more serious, like, shows. Shows like Teen Titans Go, they're good. You know, they're fine. They're funny, you know. And they do acknowledge characters like the Hive and everything like that. And they are enjoyable. Like I was saying, I was watching it when I saw the the Total Drama trailer, but Ridonculous Race trailer. But, you know, it's like you need something more serious with a real plot that can make people really excited for the next week, you know, where you can go, where they can give you a cliffhanger and be like, stay tuned for next week, or stay tuned for 3 months from now when we come back with a brand new season. And that's what should happen, you know. Cartoon Network has a big enough fan base for more DC stuff. DC definitely does. I mean, they're shining right now in spotlight with their live-action TV, and they will eventually be shining in the spotlight with their movies, but they really get dumbed down with their animation. They need to bring on their more animation. That needs to happen. So, basically, if you're going to comment on this video, make sure you just use that hashtag Renew Young Justice. That's all you got to do. If you want to leave a comment, I just ask you just leave that hashtag, because then this video will become part of, you know, when people look on Twitter or whatever, they will see this video and then they can reference it, and then maybe eventually Warner Brothers or Cartoon Network will see some of these other Young Justice renewal videos that people are making, so that we can go ahead and just get this show renewed, because it needs to come back. People want it. People love it. It could be great. So we got to see what happens.
Wrapping it up today, we are talking about the Powerpuff Girls 2016 series reboot. I think this is a great idea to bring back one of Cartoon Network's classics. This show was always a lot of fun, and I am happy that Cartoon Network sees that we really need a Powerpuff Girl kind of show. I am hoping they bring back some of the exact animation from the original, but just polished off a little. I can't wait.
So, a lot of people in this generation don't exactly remember the Powerpuff Girls. And I don't mean, like, my generation, because I remember watching that show when I was really, really little. But I'm talking about 4-year-olds. 4-year-olds don't know what Young Justice is. 4-year-olds were born in, like, 2010, 2011. I mean, that just seems like a blink of an eye, you know. That was just a day ago, 2011. So my point is, Powerpuff Girls has been gone for way too long, and it is definitely one of those shows where people are just like, "Oh, that show's for girls." Now, it is a girl power show, for sure. It is definitely directed to give people the whole feeling of boom. Girl power. Girl power is there. Girl power is happening. Girls are very powerful. They're and then you give the characters these stupid but at the same time funny names, right? And then you give them these powers, and then they'll probably make a big epic big trailer where it's like the power is coming, and then they just show these 3 little pipsqueak things that are supposedly these superheroes, and it's like that's why the show worked, because it showed that these little things that are obviously people, but they don't look like people, but they are, and they are superheroes. And it goes and it shows girls that it doesn't matter if you're, because the whole feminism and women are just as powerful as men, and it's the same level. That's a big deal right now, just as much as LGBT stuff. So it's like girl power is a big thing right now. So of course, bring back this show. If you think about it, Cartoon Network, they don't really have a show that has a lead character. The main character is not really a girl. If you think about it, regular show, nope, 2 male characters. Clarence, male character. Uncle Grandpa, 3 male characters. Let's think about it. Teen Titans Go. I mean, you have Raven and Starfire, but Robin's the gun. Robin is the one leading that show. Male character. This new Total Drama Ridonculous race show. Don. He's sort of gonna. I'm not saying I want a female host for Total Drama. I wouldn't mind a female host. That wouldn't be my first choice. But my point is, they went with another male host. So what I'm basically getting at is Cartoon Network doesn't have a show where you have a female for the main characters. So it's like, boom, you've got 3 powerful little people who actually are extremely powerful, extremely funny, and you have a really cool hit show. This show is already set in stone to be a hit. And if it's not a hit with guys, I'm telling you, this will be a hit with the young girls. It will be a hit with the older fans of the show in general, like me. I'm obviously watching it. But overall, that's the big deal. It's a hit because it is a cartoon show with 3 female, lead characters who are powerful, cool looking, and are funny. That's what you need. And then you have it being, it's a revamp on a really amazing brand like the Powerpuff Girls. And, of course, that name's pretty stupid. We're the Powerpuff Girls. It's not intimidating, but it's there. It's an established name. They don't have to establish new characters. That's why it's going to work. I know there's a lot of people who could be against it, the revamp, and I know that the original people they're not coming back to do the voices, but it's happening. This show is happening, and it's going to be cool. And no matter what happens with it, it's going to be fun. I almost would feel like it'd be awesome if they did a Teen Titans Go Powerpuff Girls crossover. Although Powerpuff Girls are not in DC Comics, basically Teen Titans Go did a crossover with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Basically, they didn't really call them that, but they kind of referred to them as these. They used everything that Ninja Turtles stood for. They didn't use their names and they didn't do the colors, but they were exactly the Ninja Turtles. So I don't see why Ninja Turtles don't exist in DC Comics. That's just how it is. The Powerpuff Girls don't exist in DC Comics, but who cares? They could make that happen because they're 2 superhero TV shows. Powerpuff Girls will be coming out in 2016, so it's supposedly going to be coming out in the beginning, so we won't have to wait too long, although we will have to wait longer than Total Drama, because Total Drama will be premiering in September. But, it's a fun show. And you don't have to be a massive fan to really like this. If you're a fan of girl power in general, watch the show. If you want to kind of get a sense of what you're going to be seeing, watch the original. Because the original is pretty good. It went for a while. It really did. It's also a color thing. There's the red, there's blue, and there's green. And it's like, if girls like the color red, then boom. If guys like the color red, boom. Basically, you can go back and forth, and then you got a male villain, which is perfect, because if you got three female characters as the main leads, you're going to want to bring on some sort of male character to attract a bit more of like a younger boy audience, because, younger boys, if you think about it, they're like, ooh, girls, cooties, or whatever. You get what I'm saying. So you're not going to really, if a young 5-year-old boy is watching Cartoon Network and he sees Powerpuff Girls, he might go, I don't like this show because it's about girls. Well, maybe that kid would like the show if he saw, whoa, what is that? It's a big, evil guy villain. And then he could be like, I want to see him take down the girls. And basically, okay, so I don't know if that was the best example, but my point is that this show can definitely appeal to multiple different audiences. So keep that in mind. And I think that's why it's going to be a hit. I'm very much excited for the whole aspect of the show, and you guys should be too. And Knox, why don't you go ahead and wrap it up?
Thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to click, share, like, and subscribe to get new episodes of the Animation Block every Saturday. I'm Knox, and catch you on the flippity flop.